All right, y'all. I'm live. I didn't even try to go live just now, but it's all good. Like I said, I wanted to go come in and just have an open panel. And I don't even know if I can do an open panel right now because I'm not even on StreamYard. So, but I just wanted to come in and deal with different, have a few topics set up to talk about. But I just feel like we need to kind of come in and talk about other subjects, other topics, and kind of elaborate on them. And like I said, you know, have it where everybody feels comfortable enough to come up on the panel, even the ones that stay down in the chat. So I know it's been going crazy on YouTube, the YouTube streets, and I just feel like some things just need to get laid out on the table and kind of get diffused, maybe, or at least calm down as much as possible. So, you know, I don't know. I was waiting on the my people to come through, and they might have some different a different schedule that they're going to do. But anyway, like I said, it's a lot going on out here in society as a whole. And I just feel like sometimes we need to pull this in to be a part of the focus, even if it's just a conversation. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but it needs to be put out there. What's up, Mob? What's going on, Mob? Appreciate you coming in. Like I said, I had to figure out that I'm not on StreamYard, and I know that some people come in and they're able to get the vertical footage where you can still bring people up. So I don't know. I guess this will kind of be like a trial run when it comes to trying to get people up on the panel. 'Cause I don't know how to do it, and I tried to tap in a little bit, but I said you keep on pulling up stuff, trying to figure out stuff, and doing this and doing that, and before you know it, another hour or two will go by, and when I said I was gonna go live, and I'm trying to cut down on that, using it as an excuse. Oh, I'm not going to start right now. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, forget it. Push the button, accidentally started it again. A lot of times I pushed the button and made it cut off. So anyway, I mean, I'm on a level where I can be kind of, you know, timid on doing stuff. But if I click over into that other lane, that's why I be telling y'all be sitting up here talking about, oh, she drunk, oh, she drinking. No, that's where I can go without any kind of liquor, any kind of alcohol. None of the above has to be present for me to get on another level. But I learned how to calm myself down from going in them modes. Because when you get to another level in life, you say, now, if I'm always acting like this, if I'm always going like this, people gonna look at me like, dang, she don't know how to be an adult. She don't know how to be grown. She this. Even if you guessing somebody's age, they like, damn, she ain't grew up yet. You ain't grew up yet. You feel me? So best believe, look. Best believe I can go on that in them lanes, because my children be mama. But anyway, I'm trying to be in a medium, in the middle, where I can tap in and grin and laugh and joke, but I can still be on the other level. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta learn how to balance that out. Whatever, mob, boss, since you want to be a boss. But anyway, yeah, I gotta learn. See, y'all don't know that other level of me. Like I said, folks, remember what I came across somebody the other day. The daddy was there, the son was there, and he said a couple of things, and I started laughing because I was like, "Oh yeah, he ain't forgot that." Look, the son hadn't forgot. He had to tell the daddy, "Oh, she can woo to woo." Blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, yeah, Now let me calm down. Let me calm down. Like I said, I don't know what like I said, I thought about it a while ago. I said I done set up here. Now the other times that I really went live, I done the vertical live, but the vertical live was just, you get on there, you talk, and you do whatever you gonna do and not worry about nothing. But now I had to realize, well, dang, the other time that I went live, I was actually on StreamYard. And I said, I don't know if StreamYard done changed up where, the prices done went up or whatnot. And I was doing the free StreamYard. Then I said, well, this only can be 6 people on the panel. So I don't know. Anyway, I say it like this. I'm not going to for the most part, I'm not going to let nothing be an excuse. If I got to shut it down and start it over, then it so be it. So be it. It is what it is. It's just going to go. Because like I said, my folks, I was expecting them to have some stuff going on. But from what it looks like, they going to tap in with me. But it's the schedule has changed on what they was planning on doing. So anyway, like I said, I tapped in on a few of the titles. I mean the topics. Like I said, I know it's a lot going on in the main sector of these YouTube streets. And like I said, some of the things might need to be talked about and elaborated on. You know what I'm saying? But it's other issues that need to be brought to the table that need to be talked about, because I know people like to laugh and joke and forget about stuff. But sometimes we need to zoom in on some real topics, especially now. I mean, it's already been lingering out there. Different things have been lingering out there and waiting for folks to grab a hold of. And I know some people probably say, look at here, I deal with these YouTube streets in this way. And when I get off, I do deal with that. And maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case, because I talk about it to my close ones. I talk about it, just to different people. You know what I'm saying? So maybe y'all folks are saying, well, this is my playground. You know what I'm saying? But hey, anyway, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, I feel you. Like give me one or two cause I might be, cause matter of fact, somebody sent me the stuff that's going on now with the US and dealing with Iran. I didn't even know what was going on because I was still in motion. And they sent me a post of it, and that's when I realized, oh my gosh, they really done done this. Yeah, they done sent it over there. You know what I'm saying? They done tapped in, and of course, folks be sitting back and paying attention to it. Yeah, cause I know some people been running from it. I ain't gonna lie to you, they been running from it, but. Like I say, we could, most of us stay kind of tapped in and pay attention enough to know, okay, this is what we might have to look for to happen. You know what I'm saying? So some of us know we done got to the point where we like, yeah, you can try to let that stuff go over your head if you want to, but hey, we done heard and learned from folks, the old school folks, like some things you need to tap into, because you need to, what they say, you need to at least know, pay attention to most of what's going on, if not all of it. You know what I'm saying? Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. Say, Oh yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. You know, that's funny. That's funny you said that. The copper. Cause yesterday I was looking through some of my old papers and that's what it was about. I kid you not. If I to be real with you, if I really wanted to, because that's one of the pages I said, nah, I don't know if I want to let go of this. I would, because I mean, it's stuff that I really be trying to get rid of. I try to make myself get rid of some stuff, but some stuff be so important. But the one that said copper, I was like, you need to keep that one to be a reminder. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. God be lining me up with some stuff, and sometimes even within myself. That's why I say sometimes we got to get in tune to these conversations. I'll have some stuff that I start, getting in tune with, coming across, taking whatever, and then all of a sudden, a few days down the line, it could be that same day, but I'm gonna just give it a little time. A few days down the line, or maybe a week, I start realizing, oh, that's why your body was sending out signals to ask for certain stuff. Certain things that I might be kind of getting addicted to, and I'm like, I start coming across, like I might be looking at YouTube and I start getting some recommended in the algorithm, the recommendations to come across, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be like, dang, I was just, tapping into that, or I started taking this, and then I started getting and I ain't said nothing out loud about it, so it ain't like, oh, well, they be listening. No, it'll be in my mind, and I won't be talking to nobody about it. So it'll just come up, and I say, okay, I start looking at it, and the benefits that I'm getting from that I start learning that the stuff, whatever I'm taking or whatever I'm doing, whatever type of food that I'm putting the ingredient in the food, it'll say, oh, this is the benefit of it. And I say, you know what? I didn't even know that was one of the benefits. But stuff like that, just like they say, I'll say it like this: God be lining stuff up for you. And I'll be so thankful that I'm like, okay, I needed to learn more information about that anyway. Because some of the benefits that some things are for, I didn't know. Like I might have been looking at something else as being a benefit. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. Just like I would, matter of fact, once again, I was just talking about this to my sister. I told her, I said, yeah, I ain't never tapped into IG. So I don't know. That's another thing that I've been kind of thinking about in these situations going on. I might have to tap into certain things that I really haven't moved into doing. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway. Yeah, I know. Cause it was three spots that they tapped into with that. Excuse me, that as far as I know. So, like I said, I don't know. A matter of fact, what's his name? I know people's names, but when I gotta really think about it, oh, where K Riz at? I know people. I know people in that lane in real life in the military, but you know, like I said, I'd be glad for somebody that that I haven't that I'm normally not speaking to, like on the but put it this way, I've been knowing some people for years. I know some from the younger generation because they parent it was in the military and they went to the military. But like I said, matter of fact, it's a couple of people I need to tap into with and see what they opinion is on this. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I said, this is something that we always have on our mind, and we've always dealt with people being from the service, going to these places over the years. So, you know. But this is, to me, this is a different lane. I don't even know how to feel about it. I ain't gonna lie to you. This one right here, I don't know. But like I said, and I know some people don't want to talk about it, but you gotta understand. Let me put it out here like this. You gotta understand some stuff. You just gotta let go of that fear and just go straight into conversating about it, talking to others about it. You know what I'm saying? And actually being prepared in certain kind of ways for this kind of stuff. Because matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you another thing. Like I said, God be lining stuff up. Yesterday, I decided to go somewhere. I was gonna go out to the event, but I was like, nah, I'm not ready to even worry about going. But I still wanted to contribute to the event because I know it was dealing with you know, raising money for something that I've been tapped into, and it was dealing with school in the past. So I went to the event, and I was like, I'm just gonna pull up and I'm gonna find who I need to find, or find somebody that I'm familiar with, and then I'm gonna handle the business and go on back up on my way. Well, how about the event? They had it so lined up that they was coming to they had the golf carts that they use to drive people around, and they was coming to pick people up to take them to the actual spot from where the parking was. Then I looked at this one dude. I said, "Ain't you so and so's brother?" He said no at first, but he was joking. And then I was thinking, well, damn, I thought this was, but I'm not surprised that he was joking. But then he started, yeah, that's my brother. So I said, you know what? That's the dude I need to talk to. I said, that ain't nothing but guy, because he was security, and he was the one that was taking people back and forth. One of the carts. Then the other person was somebody I knew too. So either way, I was gonna tap in. I mean, I know most of the people anyway, but a lot of the older ones be there too. So anyway, I was talking to him real quick about the situation going on. And he was like, oh, because I was like, oh yeah, it's time to have that protection. And he was like, oh, I'm security, woo woo, blah blah blah. And he had his badge on and everything. And he was like, here goes my card. And I said, once again, he was the brother of the person because I told him, I said, oh yeah, your brother's the one I need to talk to anyway. I really don't want to talk to nobody else. That's who I want to touch bases with. And so he was like, oh yeah, here's my card, had it on deck and everything. And I was like, okay, see how God worked. I said, yeah, because it's time regardless. The time period is here, and then what's going on with old boy, the Trumpster. I'm gonna call him the Trumpster. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know. To be real with you, we don't know where his mind is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no clue on where his thoughts are. This ain't the same type of movement that we were seeing from before. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I got you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm on the level that I'm on right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got you. So but anyway, back to what I was saying. I was glad, because see, let me tell you something. A situation happened where instead of me leaving, dealing with the situation and leaving and going on about my business, I had realized that I needed to go back and talk to the brother for a second time. So if that situation hadn't happened the way it did, then we wouldn't have had the conversation about the thing. Because he was like, be careful. I said, oh yeah. As soon as he said that, that's when I tapped in and said, oh yeah, I'm about to be on deck with that. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, here you go. I deal with that. Because I was like, oh, you know all the laws and everything. He was like, oh yeah, which I already knew he probably did, because I know how they move. You know what I'm saying? As far as dealing with important things. So anyway, Yeah, I know. Yeah. See, that's another reason why I don't really be ready to tap in. I in some ways, that's the reason why I don't be wanting to tap in, because when you do tap in and you find out real quick, here it come. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. But anyway, back to what I was saying on that part, I was glad to hear him say, "Oh yeah, I can help you out with that." That's one of the main lines he said. "Oh, I can help you out with that," and I was like, "See, God knows that I need some guidance when it comes to that level." Because even being tapped in with YouTube, coming across certain people like that deal with these type of things on a regular basis, um, it's like, well, when you really need to know the information, am I going to be able to connect with them to even go there? So anyway, just in all angles, we just need to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why sometimes when you feel like, oh, I ain't gonna worry about this, and some people is gonna tell you, oh, just pray and go on about your business and don't have no fear. It's sometimes fear doesn't have to really be lined up with you being prepared. You know what I'm saying? Because what they say, it's better to be safe than sorry. And that's real talk. I'd rather look back and say, yeah, I done spent, if it's going to be something that you're going to use anyway, in the end, it's not a big deal. Now, you might have went and purchased a lot in a time frame that you might not have before. But like I said, once you stock up on certain stuff, you're going to have to use it anyway. It's going to get used up. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to buy it for a while, certain things or whatnot. But other things, as far as protection, that's something that people gotta line up with regardless. And they can sit back in the corner if they want to. You know what I'm saying? See, I've been raised around things like that. I was raised around it. I wasn't taught a whole lot, but I was taught some. Just a few things that my granddaddy came in and was like, "Oh, you're supposed to clean your piece and all that kind of stuff. Check it, take out the ammunition and clean it and all that kind of stuff." So regardless of what I know or don't know about that kind of stuff, I already know that stuff from the get-go, regardless. So he didn't go hard on it. I don't know if he just got to a point where he was like, he started having me actually, a couple of times that he actually had me using it, but he didn't go hard, and I kind of hated it. But then in the end, I didn't need to. It was certain things that I might not have needed to be taken all the way down there too, because I had to pull myself back. Like, oh, leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, I had to leave the artillery alone, because I left that out of my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, for somebody that was brought up around it, saw it on a regular basis, and I remember a time where he was showing me the ammunition, you know what I'm saying? Explaining it to me. I ain't gonna never forget when he was telling me about, oh, this one right here, when it travels through the body, it explodes. So, even if I don't know all the way in detail on some stuff, but wait, that far back in time, I do know that was available even back then. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's just a lot of different things that we really need to tap in on. But like I said, I'm realizing that I'm on a vertical, and I had to think about it. I said, well, dang, on the vertical, yeah, they have certain people in on the panel, but I don't even know how many people can come in on the panel on the vertical. And I was willing to say, well, go in on the vertical regardless. I'm starting to find out that the verticals, they don't even count as far as when it comes to monetize, you know what word I'm trying to say. Monetize. I just say it like that. Being monetized, it doesn't count as far as money coming in. And I just now heard that a couple of times in the last few days. So See, that's the thing. The people get used to using the stuff that you realize it's not really gonna bring you in any money flow, you know? And that's kind of that's kind of off right there. Just like with the shorts, you know, they steadily change stuff around when it comes to YouTube. But the point is, people get used to, and I see that a lot because you go to some people's channels and they don't have any regular videos, and but the main thing they might have is the shorts, and they might have plenty of shorts, but those are not the ones that's really gonna count. They don't count for hours as far as I know, unless they've changed that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna have to figure out as far as today. Cause I know some people be up here and they long-winded. And I mean I can tap into some stuff and be, go kind of good, but I'm and just like a couple of people done said, they have to keep on thinking of what to say. I you know I'm ready to collaborate. I'm ready to collaborate for sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be up here for no 2 hours, no hour and a half, just talking. I'm not Terrence. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm sure not Chubbs for sure. But anyway, dude, if you don't cut that out, if you don't cut that out, if you don't cut that out, for sure, you something. But anyway, I'ma just even tap in. And when I did StreamYard before, I just went with it. Cause back then I don't even think they had verticals, the vertical live. Okay. But just like some of the topics that I was gonna tap into, with all that stuff, this is kind of lining up with the stuff that's happening with the Trumpster, kind of that was going heavy and still going heavy before that launch happened. But it's dealing with like the FBAs, which that's what a lot of us are. I can't say everybody because sometimes you ain't gonna know who's who. But the thing about it is, they, the topic of them going hard on trying to get us out there to protest. That's another topic we need to talk about. It needs to be discussed because this is another thing that I'm looking at. Now this blew my mind when I get the word that they didn't know that the average FBA, the regular FBA, is not an immigrant. What? Y'all didn't know that? I mean, I thought for sure this was well-known information, that they really thought that we were going to be a group that they was going to, when they thought about people getting deported, that we was going to be part of the group. Yeah, they're not doing their due diligence of research, but not even just doing the research. You mean to tell me that listen to me, this is where I think, that's why I was flabbergasted. You mean to tell me that the older generation didn't already have that knowledge set in to let them know, when we go to even before you come over here, or as soon as you get over here, or as soon as you come into this world, because if you're born over here, but the older generation, like most people gonna say, I'm the first, second, third generation that's been over here in the US. You mean to tell me that after all of the years, y'all thought we were immigrants like that? Like, even if you want to say, anyway, I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna go into it like that. But regardless, if you want to say, even if you want to go in and say we weren't originally over here way back in the day, and you think that stuff is still sticking to the day, like, you're gonna have to be concerned about getting deported. No, that ain't how it works. Our people have been born over here for not, I can't even fix my mouth to say decades. Our folks been over here for a couple of centuries, or even if you just say 1 century, You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I've never heard that before. I never heard that they might have even thought that we were not. Look, they not understanding that we're citizens. That's we're citizens from birthright because of our bloodline going back so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't know that they was even thinking that way. That's why I say people got to get an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Why they want to call certain people, including us, lazy? Y'all need to do y'all research. Y'all didn't know? We're written into the Constitution. You didn't know that? You didn't understand? I mean, I've only learned this about a week ago. When it started coming, when it started going kind of viral, they saying that, oh, they thought we were immigrants. What? Y'all didn't know? I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, and I understand that, but see, what you got to think about civilization is, okay, where were we at different times in the time frame, the timeline? You know what I'm saying? Where were we? Where you? And I'm just thinking about this land, the Americas and the United States. Like, I've talked to people, and like I said, even when I lived in Florida, now that's where back in time I was really with a very diverse people. You know what I'm saying? From where I'm from, I wasn't used to the diversity on the level that it has grown to. But back then, me being out of town, which I already knew it was very diverse down there. You know what I'm saying? But I just had no clue. That's a part of the conversation. That's a conversation that needs to be brought up. Like, y'all really didn't know? Like, y'all haven't heard the conversation when things are being talked about, like they were going to take us out of it or whatnot. And of course, that'll be a whole different level of dealing with something, because we'll be like, nah, we ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Man, our people done been everywhere. And see, like I said, I'm only gonna tap into it just a little bit. The point that people gotta understand is, I'm one of those people. I might not be able to go hard on some of the stuff about people reading literature and all that kind of stuff, but I done tapped in to a couple of spots to realize everywhere you look, if you really dig and look at the original people, the ones that are still living off of the land and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna come across the darker skinned people in those nationalities. And that it goes across the board, no matter where you go. I don't care. Because what was I looking at the other day? And they were talking to the people, and people were saying, oh, they dark. They're dark skinned. Yeah, that's normal. When you start realizing that the true history of the demographic different places, the demographic, that you think, oh no, they're not included. No, our people have been everywhere. I mean, first of all, when they say we were the first that was on Earth for a long time, and then when they tell you when certain ones come in and what timeline they came in, we've been around. Just like they say and I don't know how true it is on how they can really study that stuff, doing the research where they look at the bones and can tell how old the bones are. But the thing is, when you what was it? Gosh, what's the name? They titled. See, they like to swoop stuff in. They titled it a movie. And what was the name of the first skeleton that they said was the oldest bones that they've ever come across in the world? So, they what's that saying? What's old boy name? Dang, I can't think if it was anyway, the Joker. the real the original Joker. What do he say? You can't handle the truth. You feel what I'm saying? You can't handle the truth. That's how it goes. And I'll leave it at that. I ain't gonna say no more. I ain't gonna keep on going on that one. So yeah, I've seen an Asian at the time, and it's been when I first met him. He had an afro. His afro was about this size, and it wasn't thick and coarse like somebody like my hair might be, but it was curly, but it wasn't the big curls. It was the little smaller curls. And I'm looking at him like, dang, you could tell that he was on another level. He just wasn't straight Asian. You know what I'm saying? Like what I mean by that is I don't know who he had been around, but he kind of attached himself to us. Like you could tell he would be ready to conversate and be around us. Oh, are you? Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. But see, sometimes that's why when by the time I catch up with a live and it's already an hour in, my attention done got put on something else. And I'm so zoomed in that by the time I see it's alive, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll be tapping in. And that algorithm ain't no joke either. That algorithm ain't no joke. Because like I said, that algorithm will bring me some stuff that I'm like, okay. And I'll be ready to say, I might not look at it, but something to tell me, nah, don't pass it by. Because I say, if I don't look at it now, it's going to get lost in the algorithm again. I'm not going in to save it. And I'll look at it and I'll learn something. So, yeah. And I've been doing that too. I did that, what was it, yesterday or day before? I said, okay, you can sit up here and not jot that down if you want to. And you're going to sit up here and think you could just bring it to the top of your head and remember it. And I try to do that, but I got to get away from that. So that's why I say it's too much information. It's too much information. It's too much. Because the old school saying back in the day, you can learn something new every day. And literally you really can do that. Because if you take the time, even if you just tap off and take an hour, maybe two, tapping into a different category of information, you're going to come across something that you didn't know. So it's just real. But anyway, like I said, it's really, in reality, it's too many things that we can be discussing. I don't know if the balance will be crazy off the top, joking, roasting, chaos is up here, which that don't make sense to me. And then the real stuff is down here. Or do you go up to the real stuff and have more focus on the real stuff and just throw in a little bit of chaos? Or do you have it where it's kind of balanced, or the chaos is crazy and then you slowly but surely just balance it out? I mean, I know people can't handle talking about scholar stuff all day, every day. But, because even the people that tap into stuff like that, they get to a point where you might get burnt out, and you just have to balance it out, because we do need our people. Some people know some things, and I've talked to people where they know things, but they don't talk about it, and they keep it to themselves and don't talk about it. And it can be the class clowns. I don't talk to class clowns where they be like, oh yeah, I was making good grades in school, college, whatever. And they was like, I didn't let nobody know. Didn't nobody know that I was making good grades on my test. But yeah, and still the ones that was following them was thinking, oh, it's okay to be the class clown. I'm not even a class clown. I'm just coming through, jumping in here and there, being silly and not getting my work. But when you ain't making you not making the grades because you thought, okay, he's okay. I can do that. I'll be okay. But they didn't let you know that they was doing good in school and they was studying. See, some people can get away without you seeing them doing all the studying. You know what I'm saying? They can consume that knowledge and information in. I know a few people that was like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm talking about anyway, I know folks that they used to I never did tap into smoking that ganja like that. But the thing about it is I can't handle it. I can drink alcohol, but as far as that ganja, but I know folks that they used to come in the classroom. Now this is when they was in college. They used to tell her, "Oh yeah, I get high before I come to class," and maybe and really they said they learn better, and that might be the case because I ain't gonna lie. When you do smoke, you do kind of consume things a different way. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't need. I just didn't need it. It was too much for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. And maybe one day I can handle it on a regular basis or whatnot. Everybody ain't legalized, so it ain't just where everybody can just tap in. But anyway, um, dang, that time be flying. But anyway, yeah, I feel what you're saying. Um, we really need to have some of these discussions though. Like I said, I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing as far as coming in with the stream yard. But yeah. But the thing about it is, just like I was telling, I'm gonna switch to another topic. Just like I was telling Stone Seed when when Born brought up that dream that I said that I had, and I even tapped in with one of my people, and I was like, you know what? I was taking that dream very lightly, and something was telling me you dreamed about the Grim Reaper and you taking it lightly, and I was like, you know what? That ain't a regular dream for me. Even me, I mean, it can come across on that level, but that's the only the second time that I done dreamed about the Grim Reaper, and when he mentioned that on his live, and then Stone C was like, "Oh yeah, I got a tattoo of that on me," and I was like, "What?" I was like, first of all, that must have been the lineup because I ain't really went all the way in to the dream that I had, but it was like the Reaper was behind somebody. It wasn't like a dream that I can say it played out. It was like it was just in my face. Like I say, I call them maybe a vision, in more in not no not like being a dream, a full-fledged dream where everything plays out and it's like a movie. But the Reaper was behind the person, and it's like, just say like I'm looking at the screen right now. The Reaper was behind the person. He didn't have that when I looked it up the other day, the I want to say it's almost like a machete, but the thing that he has, it starts with a S, and I ain't really tapped into how to pronounce it or whatnot, but stilts, whatever it's called, I don't know. I ain't even gonna try to. I'm not even gonna attempt. But the Reaper in my dream didn't, with a vision, didn't have that. He was just standing behind a person, and I can tell you when I really thought about it, I said, well, I know it wasn't a female. I know it was a male that he was standing behind. I know that for sure. Because sometimes things that you don't even think about when it comes to dreams and visions, you don't distinctively go in on it in that angle. It wasn't nothing for me to think about, like, oh, was that a male or a female? I just know that I really couldn't see the person's face. I could just see the Reaper. And the Reaper, his face was like which I know is normal, but it's the way that it was. It wasn't like a solid skeleton, like he had the hood over his head, and it wasn't a solid skeleton. It was like looking at, you could see the whiteness of the skeleton, but it was like clearish white, like it was like looking at a glass, almost like a, well, it could have been like it, just like a half, looking somewhat like smoky. You know what I'm saying? I want to say glass with like the whiteness in it. And but like I said, he had the hood over and he was standing behind the person. And like I said, when I really thought about it, I know it wasn't a female. I know it wasn't a female at all. And when I really thought about it. So, you know, boy, if you don't stop. We barely see you. We barely see you. You feel me? But I do know what you look like. So I can't say that. But no, I don't dream about everybody. But I can tell you some people do be, that I be surprised that I dream about. And I'm like, where did that dream come from? Even just within in the week. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. But I can just tell you that sometimes, and this was before I even came across this circle, that people that you would least expect, you would dream about, in the way the dream would play out, you'd be like, now where the hell did all this come from? I done even told folks, you need to stay up out of my dreams, because some people be trying. I ain't gonna lie, I don't care what nobody say. Some people be trying to get, like, people that you connected to, that you might have children by, you might have had other relationships, you know, that you might not have had children by, that they'll come in your dreams on a regular basis, and you'll be like, look, you gonna have, and when you tell them that you need to stay up out of my dreams, they don't respond like, what the hell is you talking about? Nah, they be looking at you, or they might start laughing like, yeah, you trying to be in somebody's dreams. I don't know. Like I said, that's another reason why you be wanting to talk about this type of subject, because like I said, it's other people that can bring stuff to the table that you might not be familiar with. And even if you are familiar with it, they can still add some substance to the conversation. Like, oh yeah, I was brought up in the family, we knew about this, and this is how it go, woo, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Cause sometimes I think these folks out here, whatever they connected to, they got the ability to come in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going kind of deep on that. Don't be upset. Don't be upset. Anyway, that's what Stone C said earlier today. Listen. Some of y'all, some people already have the connection with it. Like I said, whether it be in their families, and sometimes it comes with folks' nationalities. You know what I'm saying? Where, oh yeah, that our people are, you know, tap into that spirituality on that level real strong, and we've been knowing about that all our life. Then you got some people, they want to act like they don't know nothing about it. You know, you mean to tell me that the older generation didn't bring it to your attention? Which I can kind of say they bring it to you in a certain aspect, but they don't go hard with it. But you know, I'm listen, I'm the last one to be afraid of. You know what I'm saying? And to be real with you, I done had people in real life to say that, oh, I'm scared of you. Oh, nah, I'm not the one you need to be scared of. The folks that I might have a discussion being connected with or dealing with, them is the one you might need to be have a second thought about. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I mean, I can understand it to a certain degree, because when the same thing that somebody brings to your attention and says, oh, you scaring me, or oh, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? When I come around somebody else that might be somewhat on the same level, or even they might be in another angle with it, I might be like, ooh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have, because matter of fact, what's the day? Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. I went to a spot, and I'm gonna be real with you. I saw some tents, and I came back to see what was going on, because I knew they had some stuff like a a little market or whatever that they were selling stuff. One thing I can tell you, I guarantee you, it wasn't nothing but a lot of witches. Real talk. It wasn't nothing but a lot of witches. Cause the storefront that they was in front of, that must not have been there that long. Cause I don't even know if that store was there the last time I came to that little section. Cause I came through that little section one time, and that wasn't nothing about a month ago. So I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, but when I talked to one of the people that had a booth set up, they was explaining to me the name or whatnot, and I was like, yeah, this ain't nothing but a lot of witches right here. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now I was coming back. Oh, one of them had that too. I ain't gonna lie to you. It wasn't the T one, but they had a poster of a hand, talking about a hand reader, and I said, yeah, I'm dealing with that. See, that's what I'm saying. You go into certain places and you start realizing that the real atmosphere of these places, and it's like, you know what, you got to be careful because you don't know what you picking up on, and that's real talk. Now, people can, in reality, they can have their own free will. They can basically do what they want to do. God gives you free will and all that kind of stuff, but you gotta know about them consequences. But anyway, the thing about it is, some people is trying to get away from stuff that they might have been heavily brought up on, and realize that it might have not been the best choice. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how it goes. But yeah, I realized that vibe, that them antennas was going up. Like, yeah, you know what you around right now. You know what you tapping. You coming across while you, and best believe when I bought that doggone drink, because I was really coming back. I had to come back to patronize somebody else, and they wasn't there. They had already left. And I said, you know, I'm still gonna patronize. I'm still gonna buy something, right? Best believe the prayer that I said before I drank that drink. Yeah, I asked God, put your hands on this right here. You know what I'm saying? Take away anything. I ain't even gonna say nothing about that. Take away anything that can come against me in a negative, dark way. But anyway, I can't believe I've been on here. What's going on, Tony? Tony in the house. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I really am, because like I said, I was saying earlier, I wasn't really planning on necessarily just. I realized the only thing that I could do, that when you push that button, is really just doing a vertical, and I don't know. I might have to, but I already had said that I'll probably come in and do something and then pull back out and come back later on, and that's what I might. What? Oh, that's what you were saying. Oh, see, I saw parts of the sentence and I didn't realize the other one. Are you serious though, boss? Are you serious? Or are you joking? Because you know you can be on the joking level. Let me know now. Because hey, let me know now. Are you joking or are you being serious? Because if you're being serious, then I can kind of yeah, that's something. Back in the day, I didn't think of no big. For the most part, I didn't think no big deal to be around people, whatever they did. Yeah, when you growing up, you already know. The first thing that I ever, back in the day, some people from where I'm from, for the most part, knew about was the devil worshippers. You know what I'm saying? And I done been around a couple of them too. But Yeah. You think no big deal. I believe in God and I roll my way. But then when you start getting to a more mature, more realistic way of thinking or understanding how deep that stuff goes, you realize, oh no, I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful. I remember that job. Listen to me now. Let me tell you something. Like I said, I remember I was working at that job and the couple came in and they already had on all black. They already had on all black. And you could tell how they was moving, what kind of vibe they had. But guess what? Before I left that job, when I say the guy, it was a girl and a boy, and they were young. The guy done came to work. You know how you come to your job and people is already talking and talking and talking. He done got a tattoo. Done came to work. I guess he was probably bragging about it because all he had to do is get it done, come to work, and go on about his business. Or even if he just didn't even tell folks what he got. This dude done came to work with a 666 on him, tattooed on him. And she looked like she was carrying a baby. And she swore up and down she wasn't pregnant. And I don't care what nobody say. You can't tell me that girl wasn't pregnant. I'm telling you. And I just, you start thinking on levels of, yeah. So why are you trying to convince people that you're not pregnant, that you ain't carrying a baby? Because what are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing you look at. Because I mean, that's another part of the conversation that was going on. People was like, and you know how women can be for sure. I don't know how in tune the males are, but the women can tell when sometimes you ain't got to be. I'm talking, I'm not talking about like she was just chubby. Her stomach was chubby. No, you know what a pregnant belly looked like. But she was claiming, telling folks up and down that she was not pregnant. And anyway, like I said, when and this was before he got that tattoo. So then when he got the tattoo and everybody was at the job talking about it, then they told him he had to cover that up. But anyway, like I said, it'd be different kind of stuff you come across in life. You never know. But every now and then I think about that situation. I be wondering. I just be wondering whatever happened. Cause I can't remember if I was gone from that job before they left or they left first. I can't even remember. It seemed like they kind of left. Like, that was one of them high turnover jobs. But anyway, yeah. So a lot of times you think about something and you forget about it. You be like, oh, damn, I forgot about that situation. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to end this one. Oh, no. It was the straight up triple. Yeah, it wasn't no flip the flop. It was a straight up triple. That's when you knew. See, even the other folks that was working at that job, even they had gotten a vibe that, oh, these are some dark energy people. You know what I'm saying? They were some dark energy people. So it wasn't like a mistake. I hear you, but I keep telling you, I don't even tap in with that stuff like that. But I don't know. I might have to venture off into some new avenues, but I got you. But see, I got you. But like I said, I don't even tap into that. I ain't never. Every now and then I try to look up something that it end up being that, but Instagram. But I'm like, of course, if you ain't tapped into it, you can't get in to see the information, or it'll let you see a little bit and then it'll switch off. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay. I guess y'all think I be tapping in with everybody. I ain't the whole time I've been on here, I just done tapped in with her, the one you mentioned, and Sugar, and that's the only one. And you know, with how crazy it's been being, 1 minute is this up in the air, 1 minute is that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I be staying low key with it. Now back in the day, I probably would have done tapped in with a lot of people, but I'm like, shit crazy. But anyway, I'm like I said, I'm gonna probably end this live right now and then go ahead and try to what's going on, Blended? Um, Matter of fact, Blended, answer this question. Can you isn't it a certain way that you can have people up on the panel when you are doing a vertical? Because I was going to take the time to try to look into it before I got on here, but I said, no, I'm going to stop procrastinating. Do you use your vertical and have people up on the panel? Or do you just do StreamYard? Or one of the other platforms? Oh, that's what I'm on? I thought I was just... Yeah, but am I on the vertical part of StreamYard? Post the link. Yeah, but I didn't see it nowhere. When I went in, when I tapped into the actual doing the the information on the live, I didn't see a link. So where is the link at when so when you go into schedule or just put a title on your live, it's gonna have a link. Okay, so basically I'm still in StreamYard, but I'm just on the vertical. Now, are you able to still go on the StreamYard? That's the free part of StreamYard where you can only have 6 people on the panel. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure it out. I mean, I've done it before, but it had been so long when I did it. Okay, but like I said, where is the link located? Where is the link located where I can go? Because I know what they've been doing. I paid attention to that, where they actually put the link. They posted on their post page on their wall, and that's how people can come up on the panel. Okay, in the studio. I think this is gonna be the day where I'll try to go in and do some things, because I'm one of those people that if I go in and get used to doing something, I'm fine, and that's all I have to do is go through the steps and kind of look through it a couple of times, and I'm good. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. At least I got in and did one live, like I said, like I told myself, because I've been meaning to do this. It's been plenty of times, and not even necessarily this way, but this way I was like, yeah, I wanted to bring in several topics. Oh, you don't. Oh, he said he doesn't see the duck emblem. Yeah, because I really thought that the vertical was different from StreamYard, but it's just another. So what you're saying is just another type of StreamYard. Copy the link. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to find it, because like I said, what you said, go into the studio. I'll play around with it and see if I can figure it out, and I might have to look something up. Okay. So it doesn't have to show the duck. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and try to figure it out, because if I can come back even on the vertical, where I can put the link on the post it on the wall and do it that way, I do at least know that part. Okay. Okay, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and end this live, excuse me, and go ahead and try to figure out where the link is on the vertical live, and post it that way. Now let me know one more thing, blended healing. What? Um, how many people can come up on the vertical live when you go vertical? What? Oh, they did. Yeah, how many people can come up on the vertical blended when you're on the vertical? Okay, so it's still 6 people. Okay. That's not bad. It's still the same as the other StreamYard. Okay then, y'all. And I'm probably gonna have to mess around with my lighting too, and get in another spot where I can do my lighting. Cause I got my little thing, but I'm gonna have to set up where I gotta be around it. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Um, and I'll try to figure this stuff out, and I'll probably post it on my wall that I'm coming back. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it my business to come back live. So all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, and I will be back. And I appreciate y'all. See that's how I found out stuff. I done pushed the wrong thing, and it's gave me the poll, where you do the polls on your page. See that's how I find out stuff. Sometimes I find out stuff by accident. All right, y'all, I'm gone.